All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're tackling a universal pain point in enterprise IT. Honestly, it's one that anyone who's ever survived a major software rollout knows all too well. We are talking about the inevitable backlog of unmet user interface requirements in Oracle Fusion implementations. You know exactly the ones I'm talking about. Those highly specific, absolute must-have requests that users desperately need, but the system just wasn't built to do out of the box. The ones that inevitably get banished to the mythical Phase 2. Well, today, we're going to completely rethink how we handle that wish list by bringing in a real game changer, using Oracle Apex as a dedicated user experience layer.
Because think about it. What actually happens to the Fusion wish list? Every project starts with the best of intentions, right? It always kicks off as just one or two specialized requirements in some early workshop. Someone jots them down, maybe sets them aside for later. But then another requirement pops up. Then 5 more suddenly appear during user acceptance testing. Before you know it, you are staring down this massive, intimidating backlog. Users start complaining about rigid workflows, overly complex screens, and just clunky processes that standard Fusion UI simply can't handle cleanly. It's this crazy snowball effect, and it can completely derail user adoption if you let it.
Now, historically, most IT teams look at that massive backlog, throw their hands in the air, and just accept the limitations. They call it the inevitable cost of SaaS, basically telling users, hey, you just got to get used to the new screens. But what if we completely reframe this? What if we stopped accepting poor usability and instead treat this entirely as an architectural problem? Because the minute you look at it as an architecture problem, it means there's a structural, highly effective solution just waiting to be implemented.
And that brings us to Section 1, Apex as the UX layer, a structural solution.
So here's the absolutely crucial takeaway. Oracle Apex isn't just another bolt-on tool, not at all. It is a dedicated solution designed specifically to fill this exact architectural gap. Basically, Apex acts as the user experience layer. Think of it like a perfectly custom-tailored suit worn over a highly secure, heavily armored core. Apex handles everything the user actually touches, the data capture, the workflows, those early inline validations, all while keeping Oracle Fusion safely protected as the pristine, secure system of record. It seamlessly bridges the gap between what Fusion demands and what a human being actually needs to interact with. And you can see how incredibly clean this new flow is. Step 1, the data is captured effortlessly in a beautifully customized Apex UI. Step 2, that data is passed cleanly and securely right through Oracle Integration Cloud, or OIC. Step 3, the validated perfect record lands safely into Oracle Fusion. The user gets a phenomenal experience, and Fusion gets clean data. Honestly, everyone wins here.
Let's move on to Section 2, Real-World Apex Use Cases, Building Business Value.
Let's see how this actually plays out and generates immediate returns, starting with custom sales order creation. Look, Oracle Fusion's standard sales order screen is incredibly comprehensive, but that's exactly the problem. It was built for every organization on the planet. For your specific sales team, it usually ends up being a cluttered nightmare full of irrelevant fields, which inevitably leads to training headaches and post-submission errors. But by bringing in Apex, we can totally transform this. Apex turns a frustrating ordeal into a beautifully tailored 2-minute task. It literally only shows the fields your specific business unit cares about, and it dynamically catches credit and pricing errors before the user even hits submit.
Next up, we have transfer order management. Moving inventory sounds simple enough on paper, but your business probably has some pretty complex rules under the hood, right? Things like which warehouses can transfer where, complicated substitution logic, or low inventory flags. Doing all of this in the standard Fusion UI usually means error-prone manual entry, and trying to build custom extensions inside Fusion, that is incredibly expensive. But what if you could just replace that manual nightmare with a guided workflow? With Apex, you absolutely can. Since it's built on PL/SQL, it transparently enforces all those complex substitution and threshold rules, making the whole process practically bulletproof for your end users.
Now here is a notoriously complex task: item creation. A standard item setup usually bombards the user with an enormous number of fields, but with Apex, we can introduce dynamic item creation. The interface actually responds intelligently to the user. For instance, if you select packaging, you only see packaging fields. Actually, scratch that. It's more like if you select raw materials, you exclusively get raw material fields. Everything else just hides away automatically. Mandatory validations happen instantly. This is a massive time saver for item creation and guarantees that incomplete records never even reach Fusion.
Our fourth use case is one that's often a fantastic surprise for organizations, and it delivers massive, unexpected value: OIC Integration Monitoring. OIC is your integration backbone. It's running constantly. But let's be real, the OIC console is a highly technical tool. It's genuinely intimidating and really shouldn't be accessed by everyday ops teams. Here, Apex steps in to provide a beautifully business-friendly control center. Your ops teams get real-time status updates, success and failure drill downs, and one-click manual triggers with complete audit logs. They can monitor the whole shebang perfectly without ever having to touch the technical IT console.
So, seeing all those examples, you might be wondering, why not just use some other generic low-code platform? Well, that brings us to Section 3, Why Oracle Apex Wins, the preferred choice.
Apex really beats out other frameworks for 4 very distinct reasons. First off, it's Oracle native. That means it seamlessly shares your existing security, your data, and your network. Second, the development speed is just off the charts. Complex, dynamic forms that would normally take weeks in traditional web development take literally days in Apex. Third, it is fully transparent and auditable. Because it's PL/SQL-based, your existing Oracle familiar teams can actually read and maintain it. You aren't getting locked into some mysterious black box platform. And finally, it's highly scalable. What starts out as just a simple data entry form can easily evolve into a full-blown operational dashboard over time.
There's a direct quote from our source material that I think perfectly anchors this whole strategy. It says, "There's no middleware to stand up, no separate authentication to configure. It is, by design, part of the same ecosystem." And guys, this is absolutely massive from an IT and security standpoint. It means your existing Oracle security model handles everything. You're not introducing any foreign, unsecure elements or clunky third-party authentication layers into your architecture. It just fits perfectly.
Let's pull this all together now in Section 4, the new architecture pattern, a paradigm shift.
The true beauty of this approach is the strict separation of responsibilities. It's so clean. Apex entirely owns the user experience. It handles the data capture, the role-specific views, and those guided workflows we talked about. OIC entirely owns the integration, handling the transformation, orchestration, and error routing. And Fusion? Fusion entirely owns the data, ensuring records land cleanly via API as if they'd been entered natively. When every layer owns its specific job, nothing gets bolted on where it doesn't belong, and Fusion's data integrity remains absolutely flawless.
And we definitely have to mention that this transformative approach to the Oracle ecosystem and the incredible insights we've explored today come directly from the integration and architecture innovators over at Bizinsight Consulting. They've really proven that accepting a bad user experience isn't just the cost of SaaS, it's simply an opportunity for better architecture. So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Take a really hard look at your own organization's not possible list today. You know, all those items pushed to the dreaded Phase 2. Are you asking the wrong question? Are you stubbornly asking, can Fusion do this standard, instead of asking, where in the Oracle ecosystem should this live? Just imagine how much friction, frustration, and lost productivity you could eliminate tomorrow by simply giving your users the targeted, efficient experience they actually deserve through Oracle Apex. It might just be time to rethink that wish list.